Ladies and gentlemen, the following podcast is set for one episode. Your host from Columbus, Ohio, is Michael Kirk. Welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast. Hello and welcome to the Outlaw Mudcast, your digital audio dirt sheet for all things Super Show. Top story this week, as I'm recording this, Sunday, May 17th, we saw the end of the second match in round 2 of the 2025 Creative Competitor Competition. This was the tag round between the tag team of Sunsets and Sombreros, Sundown Moon and El Gordo Americano, and JAC and the Spice Lord. The match ran for 72 hours. It started at 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Thursday, May 14th, and ended 10 a.m. Eastern Time, Sunday, May 17th. It started an hour earlier than the previous tag match this round. I'm not a fan of the lack of consistency in that. They also did not announce this match was happening until Wednesday night during Talk of the Universe, just over 12 hours before the match was actually launching. I don't know why they insist on waiting so late. Things need to be announced early so hype and interest can build toward them. It's the exact worst thing to promote that you can do. Instead of getting the word out early and building interest, literally announcing almost as late as you possibly can. I don't understand the thinking behind that. I don't know why that's considered the right move. It's not. You don't build hype if you wait until literally less than 14 hours before it starts to announce it's happening? I don't get it. I don't get the thought process. But the match started on time, no hiccups. There was a brief question because in the previous match in the round, they were asking people to not just tag people in the comments, but to actually copy like a block of text when they tag. That did not happen in this match. Apparently that was optional in the previous match. I did not understand it that way, but they went back to the previous way of doing the tag round in this tag match. JAC and the Spice Lord started off hot, got up to an early lead on day 1. Eventually, votes started coming in, points started being scored for Sundowns and Sombreros, and eventually, JAC and the Spice Lord ran out of steam. As the steward for JAC, I can tell you, I worked repeatedly throughout the weekend to try to get points scored, and I ran out of people who would tag with us. Both teams in this match, both Sundown and Sombreros and JAC and the Spice Lord, both of them scored more points than the winning team in the previous match in the round. The final score ended up being, by my count, unofficial, 57 points for Sundowns and Sombreros, 40 points for JAC and the Spice Lord. Congratulations to Sundowns and Sombreros. Sundown Moon and El Gordo Americano will be advancing to the meme round of the CCC. Based on what they have said previously, the matchups will be the tag partners. So it will be the Dude versus the Beekeeper and Sundown Moon versus El Gordo in the meme round of the CCC. Again, congratulations to all 4 of them for advancing to the meme round. We did have some good promos for this. JAC made a promo video. The Spice Lord made a promo video. We already had a promo video from Sundown Moon last week. I did not see a promo video from El Gordo Americano specifically for this match. We did also get a new JAC song for this match. Now, I have had some people reach out to me and ask, what about JAC? Is this it for him? I don't know. Here's the deal. For all the frustration of the CCC, I love the CCC. And I would love to essentially go on to be like Mr. Poppinjust, where I could be the captain of a CCC team. I would love to be involved with the CCC when I'm not a participant. But in my opinion, the only way I should ever be allowed to do that is if I win the CCC. So I have to keep trying to win the CCC so that I can continue to be a part of it even after I decide not to compete. Do I keep trying to get JAC to win? Do I create a new competitor? I don't know. It's very frustrating because I really love this and I feel like I'm one of the most passionate people to ever try to win the CCC. I feel like I care about this more than almost anyone, and so it's frustrating that that doesn't matter. At the end of the day, how much I want it just doesn't matter. It's not important. So I don't know what I'm going to do about the CCC. I'll have to think about it. For right now, congratulations, Sundown Moon, El Gordo Americano, the Dude, and the Beekeeper. We have a lot of Grand Gathering news that's come out. I'm just going to go through it in no particular order. I'm going to start with the guest list. We've had a new announcement to the guest list. This was apparently announced on the last episode of Expanding the Universe. I unfortunately missed that episode, but I can tell you that the new addition to the guest list is Cruel. The Atrocity Cruel, the Heathen Cruel, former Wrestling Revolver champion Cruel. He will be appearing at Grand Gathering 6 alongside other special guests, Dr. Sleep, Anthony Gangone, BDE, the WTF radio hosts, Jessica Havoc, Brent Oakley from the Algorithm, I believe formerly of Alpha Sig, and Origins 24/7 champion Mighty Marcel. Those are the guests. We should have competitor sets coming out for almost all of the guests appearing at Grand Gathering 6. From what I understand, Cruel included on that list. We're going to have a lot of new cards and competitors in addition to those releasing at Grand Gathering 6 and releasing in current mystery boxes and payoff packs. They've been showing those off on Talk of the Universe. They showed some off on the last episode of Talk of the Universe. They've posted them in the SRG Super Show discussion group on Facebook. Check those places out if you want to see what they look like. We have some event news regarding Grand Gathering 6. A number of surveys were sent out to players who signed up for Grand Gathering 6, asking, among other things, what competitors they'd like to use in the Cookies Fortune event, what competitors they'd like to use in the Grand Battle, what they want their entrance music to be, things of that nature. The deadline to submit those has passed. Anyone submitting them from this point forward, you will be put on the end of the list. If you would have gotten your pick considered earlier, you will be considered at the end. The competitors that were booked for Grand Battle are the past Grand Battle winners. This may just be a partial list, but Matt Riddle, the Mark Jeff Bravo, Big Bad Bobby D, and Ricky Riot are booked. The current LFF World Heavyweight Champion is booked for the Cookies Fortune event. From memory, that is the TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen competitor. Those are booked for those events. The Cookies Fortune event will be different than the World Championship Tournament. It may be some sort of bracket event where the first match is a best of 3 series and then single elimination going forward. They are still hashing out the details on how those events will work. There will be the Dasmo Deck Challenge event. That will be taking place essentially during the Grand Battle. As people are eliminated from the Grand Battle, they will be able to participate in the Dasmo Deck Challenge. Players will receive 2 competitors, and then they will draft decks from 2 mystery boxes. The event will be in groups of 4. So 4 players will draft from 2 mystery boxes, draft 4 1 through 27 decks. They'll have been given 2 competitors at the start of Grand Gathering 6. They will use the competitor card from one and the finishes from the other. So if you get El Super Hombre and Snake Pit, you'll either play El Super Hombre with Snake Pit finishes or Snake Pit with El Super Hombre finishes, for example. That's how that would work. The entry fee for the Dasmo Deck Challenge is half the cost of a mystery box. That's the way they set it. From what I understand, a mystery box is $60, so that's a $30 entrance fee, but it might be a different price at Grand Gathering 6. We'll have to see. But I would expect around $30 entry fee for the Dasmo Deck Challenge. The winner of each group in the Dasmo Deck Challenge. So like I said, you'll draft with between you and 3 other players. You'll play the other 3. Best record wins the group. The winner will get a photo featured on a future card art. They'll get a picture taken at Grand Gathering 6, and that picture will be used on card art at some point in the future. That's the prize for winning Dasmo Deck Challenge. In addition to all of the Super Show play, there may be some late night Scally Wager play, where the winner of the Scally Wager play will get to create some sort of Scallywag competitor card or entrant ship for Super Show the game. That's the event news I have for Grand Gathering 6. Championship news. There will be a defense of the Global Championship at Grand Gathering 6. John Hodges, playing as Danhausen, will take on the Collector Sean Loeb, champion with Swoggle. There will be a Tornado Tag Team defense at Grand Gathering 6. Titan, playing as the Protectors of the Light, will challenge LFF Tornado Tag Team champion Rowdy Ron, champion with Ninja Firebirds, for the championship. The next challenger for the LFF Tornado Tag Team Championship will be one of 2 people. Either Ricky Riot, who has a shot with My Girls, or the winner of the Hold the Line Harry Tornado Tag Team Invitational Tournament happening at Grand Gathering 6. I missed an event when I was going through the events. For the tag team event happening on Sunday, Combat Chris will be booked. The World Division competitors and the Underworld Division competitors will be booked. There will also be what's called super diversity in the event. What that means is this. If multiple tag teams would make the top cut, but these tag teams have one competitor in common. So let's say there's a tag team that is El Super Hombre, original El Super Hombre, and the Rising Sun, and one tag team that's the original El Super Hombre and the Pretzel Wizard. Only one of those teams will advance, even if they both would based on record, because of super diversity. There are no 1 through 30 cards or entrances booked in the tag team event. You can play as many of the T50 cards as you'd like. Otherwise, that's all I have for the events. Back to championship matches. There will be regional championship matches at Grand Gathering 6. There will be defenses of the Deep South Championship. The current champion TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen will defend against Rowdy Ron on Thursday or Friday of the event. The winner of that will then defend against the Grim Librarian on Saturday or Sunday of the event. There will also be Midwest Coast Championship defenses, both the singles and the tag. The tag, the current champions, the Foreman and HR, their challengers not yet known. The singles champion, the Meeple, he will be defending against the Beekeeper at Grand Gathering 6. There may be other defenses of the Midwest Coast Championship. That is the only defense I can report right now. The Beekeeper will challenge the Meeple for the Midwest Coast Championship. That's what I have for Grand Gathering news, but I do have a little bit of regional news. Per the current champion for what was the LFF Tri-State region, it's no longer the LFF Tri-State region. It's now the Northeast region, and the Star Maker Everett Stevens is now the Northeast champion. Those are the big stories that I have for you this week. A couple of odds and ends. I have no update on the Origins Game Fair schedule. As far as I know, there are going to be events at Origins Game Fair. Last I looked, they have not been posted on the Origins registration website. Keep checking. I hope they will be up there soon. There was a convention appearance this weekend for SRG Universe. The SRG boss represented the company at CradleCon. Same location as Long Island Tabletop Gaming Expo, the Cradle of Aviation Museum in New York, in Long Island, New York. I don't know why that was not announced ahead of time. I don't know if this was a last-minute addition. Again, like I said, with the CCC match, announce these things as early as you can. I don't know what the whole deal is with the delay. Let people get hyped up for matches. Let people be able to recommend to their friends, hey, if you're going to CradleCon, there's this game I really think is fun. You should check out Super Show the Game. They're going to be there, SRG Universe. People can't spread word of mouth about the game if you don't tell them, hey, here's where you can do this. Here's where you can do that. Let people get the opportunity to get the word out about Super Show. With that, let's talk about the online tournaments and featured matches from this past week. I will start Monday with Monday Night Fights. Underworld Division event. World Division competitors booked. All other singles competitors legal, subject to 2020 vision. 10 players played in 4 bullet rounds, and afterward they cut to a top 4. In the semifinal round, all of the matches were New York rules matches. I did not see anything about a stipulation for the finals match or a third place match. Your top 4 were, in 4th place, playing as the Rising Sun, I assume the original version, HR. In 3rd place, playing as Colby W. Cram, the chosen one himself, Colby Cram. In 2nd place, playing as El Scorpio, the prize fighter, Simon Davner, and the winner of Monday Night Fights, playing as La Phoenix, I believe the original version, not the Super Lucha, TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen. Congratulations to the Commissioner for winning Monday Night Fights. Wednesday, there was a contender match for a future shot at the Deep South Championship. This was streamed on the SRG Universe Twitch channel after Talk of the Universe. In this match, we had Hold the Line Harry as Quadruple H versus the Grim Librarian as the newer version of the Grim Librarian. The match ended up going to Crowd Meter 1. The winner, who I mentioned earlier, is getting a shot Saturday or Sunday at Grand Gathering 6, the Grim Librarian. Congratulations to the Grim Librarian. And I'm not sure, I said this was the newer version. This might be the original version of Grim Librarian. It's one version of Grim Librarian. Will be getting the shot used by the Grim Librarian at the Deep South Championship at Grand Gathering 6. Congratulations to the Grim Librarian for winning Wednesday night. Thursday, we had Thursday night boss fights. 16 players played in this Underworld Division event. They played 4 bullet rounds, and then they cut to a top 11. 5 players received byes into the quarterfinals. The remaining 6 played for the last 3 spots. No stipulation in the play-in matches. The quarterfinal matches were death matches. The semifinal matches were dark matches. The finals match, and I believe the third place match, were tables matches. Your top 4 were, in 4th place, playing as Supersonica, the chosen one, Colby Cram. In 3rd place, playing as Lissa Legnet, Johnny Correa. In 2nd place, playing as King Brian Cage, El Hombre Cybernetico, and the winner of Thursday night boss fights, playing as La Phoenix, TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen. Congratulations to TVA Commissioner Drew Madsen for winning Thursday night, for winning both the Monday night and Thursday night tournament this week. Friday, on the Flame Fighters Twitch channel, UCW presented Mayhem, a 3-match card for the online promotion UCW. The opening match was a funhouse match. We had Bobby Ohio playing as Bobby Ohio versus Split playing as the original version of Split. What is a funhouse match? Here are the rules for a funhouse match. Crowd meter 0, Shadow Hall. Each player's discard pile is face down until the crowd meter changes. I assume that means it's not public knowledge. Players can't ask what's in it, but it just says face down. Crowd meter 1, Hall of Mirrors. +1 to finish rolls, +2 to breakout rolls. Copy the text of a card hit the previous turn. Crowd meter 2, Vortex Tunnel. +2 to finish rolls. When a finish is hit, both competitors' stat lines are reversed. I assume that your printed 10 is now a 5, your printed 9 is now a 6, so on and so forth. Crowd meter 3, Bouncing Floors. +3 to breakout rolls. Each player's lowest skill is +2. Crowd meter 4, Infinity Hall. +3 to finish rolls. Each finisher has the added text. After a breakout, take 1 lead from your discard pile and put it into play. Crowd meter 5, the maximum crowd meter emergency exit. The opponent gets 1 breakout roll for each finisher in their discard pile. If the opponent breaks out, they exit the funhouse and win. The funhouse collapses around the loser. Those are the rules. In this match, the maximum was crowd meter 3, Bouncing Floors. The winner at crowd meter 3, winning the funhouse match, Bobby Ohio. Congratulations to Bobby Ohio for winning the funhouse match. Between the first and the second match, they had a contract signing for the UCW Championship. Ron Rumble will challenge the Devil's Reject, GPS, for that championship at Grand Gathering 6. The contract has been signed. The second match of the night, a number 1 contender versus number 1 contender match. The number 1 contender for the UCW Championship, just having signed the contract, Ron Rumble, playing as the original version of Ron Rumble, took on the number 1 contender for the UCW Hardcore Championship, the Collector Sean Loeb, playing as the Memes Dealer. This was going to be a standard singles match, but the last minute, the Flame Fighter threw in a special guest referee. Cassandra was the special guest referee. This hurt Ron Rumble, completely negated his gimmick. His opponent able to take advantage of that, and at crowd meter 0, the Collector wins the match. Ron Rumble has some words and potentially maybe some future beef with the Flame Fighter after this. The final match of UCW Presents Mayhem was for the UCW Tornado Tag Team / Trios Championship. I believe this is a championship that can be defended in Tornado Tag Team matches or Trios matches. The challenger, the Italian Bombata, challenging with the Tornado Tag Team, the Paddock. The champion, Jokerfish, champion defending with Tornado Tag Team, the Kings of Crime. This match ended up going to crowd meter 2. The winner, new champion, the Italian Bombata. Congratulations to the Italian Bombata for winning the UCW Tornado Tag Team Trios Championship. There was one bit of news that came in on Sunday morning that I should have mentioned before I started covering the tournaments, but I'll mention it here now. We have a Faction Wars update. The semifinal round in Faction Wars saw the Big Picture taking on the Constellation and Barona Patrol taking on the Higher Class. Earlier in the week, the Big Picture secured the victory over the Constellation, 17 points to 10 points. Between Barona Patrol and the Higher Class, it was neck and neck. The Barona Patrol was up 16-14. There were 2 matches left. The Higher Class wins one of those 2 to tie it up at 16 apiece. And then the winner joining the Big Picture in the finals of Faction Wars, the Higher Class. The Higher Class comes back to advance to the finals. I believe this is their, I want to say, 5th finals appearance. They've made a lot of finals appearances. They're a 2-time winner. They've appeared at least one more time than their total number of wins. But multi-time Faction War winning faction, the Higher Class returns, and they're going to face the Big Picture in the finals of Faction Wars. Sunday. Instead of your normal Sunday Night Fights is going to be running a tournament. The Master of the Mat tournament. Let me run down the rules of this tournament. It's an 8-player tournament. Each player must use a competitor from the United States division. First come, first serve on competitor choice. The tournament would start 7 p.m. Sunday night, May 17th. There are going to be a series of qualifying matches. These are first to either 2 falls or the most falls after 5 rounds. Each match will have a maximum of 5 rounds. Each round starts when the first card is played. Players have 2 minutes to complete each round. When the 2-minute timer expires, the active player finishes his turn, and then the round ends. When the round ends, all cards in play are currently discarded from play. Both players draw back up to their minimum hand size, so if they have less than 3 cards, they drop to 3. If for some reason they have a minimum hand size greater than 3, they drop to that. And then the next round begins with a new 2-minute timer starting when the first card is played. If a player scores a pinfall during the round immediately ends. The next round then starts, same rules for starting. If the first player to win 2 rounds wins the whole match. If no player wins 2 rounds after the 5 rounds have been completed, the player with the most wins will advance. most falls moves on. If the match is tied at the end of the 5th round, it will enter sudden death. Finish rolls are +5. The next pinfall wins the match. Pinfall or submission. A disqualification results in a match loss. It says match and not round here, so I assume if you get disqualified, even if that would be your first fall, you would lose the whole thing. The finals of this event will be a fatal 4-way bump-in match. So after the 5 rounds happen, the players will play a fatal 4-way. It will be a 30-minute bump-in match, meaning the bump-in rules will be used. When multiple players would bump, those players instead draw and take turns. They must play against the players who were not part of the would-be bump. You can score multiple pinfalls or submissions during this 30-minute time limit. The player with the most falls at the end of 30 minutes wins the match. When a player scores a pinfall, they discard the cards in play between them and the player they pinned or submitted. The match continues going as long as there's time left on the clock. If at the end of 30 minutes there is a tie, all of the tied players go to sudden death. Crowd meter increases to 5. No time limit. Next fall wins the event. Those are the rules for the Master of the Mat tournament happening this Sunday night. Unfortunately, due to time, I was not able to add the results of that tournament to this show. I will report on them on next week's podcast. While I initially thought that I wasn't going to be able to add the results from the Master of the Mat challenge that was happening Sunday, it turns out the challenge wrapped up early enough that I can give you the results on this week's show. So let me do that right now. As I mentioned earlier, there are 8 players, each playing a competitor from the United States division. The 4 matchups in the qualifying round portion are Swaggy D as Rock Newman versus Flame Fighter as Vacation Commissioner, Rambo Apocalypse as Isaac versus the Foreman as President Gal Al, Robert the Brain Dunn as the second version, the Grand Pack version of Flyboy versus the End, playing as the End, and Rowdy Ron as Rowdy Ron versus Bobby Ohio as Tommy Stillwell. Every match in the qualifying rounds took all 5 rounds at a minimum to complete. In the first matchup, Swaggy D versus Flame Fighter, with 1 fall in the first 5 rounds, the winner advancing to the finals, Swaggy D. In the second matchup, Rambo Apocalypse versus the Foreman, going to sudden death, the winner in sudden death advancing, Rambo Apocalypse. In the third match, Robert the Brain Dunn versus the End, the winner taking it in sudden death, the End. The 2 matches that went to sudden death had 0 falls in the first 5 rounds. So this wasn't a case of a 1 versus 1 tie. These were 0-0 ties heading to sudden death. The final match, Rowdy Ron versus Bobby Ohio. Bobby Ohio scores 2 falls to advance to the finals. It was 1-0 going into the last round. Bobby Ohio secures it, getting the second fall at round 5 in his match. So the finals is a fatal 4-way match. Swaggy D as Rock Newman versus Rambo Apocalypse as Isaac versus The End as The End versus Bobby Ohio as Tommy Stillwell. The first fall in the match is secured at crowd meter 3. Rambo Apocalypse scores the first fall. The second fall is secured by The End, also at crowd meter 3. There are no falls scored before time expires. So the match goes to sudden death. Bobby Ohio and Swaggy D leave the match. Sudden death, Rambo Apocalypse versus The End. The winner at crowd meter 3, hitting the grapple finish with no possibility for his opponent to be able to break out. The first ever Master of the Mat winner, The End. Congratulations to The End for winning and becoming Master of the Mat. One bit of news also came out at the end of the Sunday Night Fights broadcast for Master of the Mat. This week's Monday Night Fights tournament will be all Super Lucha. You must use a Super Lucha competitor, and I'm assuming a Super Lucha 1 through 30 deck in preparation for the Super Lucha tournament taking place this upcoming weekend. That's all the information I'm adding to this show. Please enjoy the rest of the podcast. As far as what's coming up for next week, we should have Monday Night Fights. We should have a Thursday night tournament. We should have Dojo Tuesday night. Beatdown was supposed to be this week. It was canceled. I don't know if they're going to do a substitute Beatdown this week coming up. We should have Ignite this Friday. It is a holiday weekend. It is Memorial Day weekend coming up. Sunday Night Fights will not happen this week. Instead, it will be a one-day Super Lucha tournament. That is what I have coming up. If you're interested in participating in those things, watch for the posts on the SRG Super Show discussion group on Facebook, or supershowthegame.com, or on the web app. With that being said, that is going to do it for this week's episode of the Outlaw Mudcast. I would like to thank all of you for listening, and good day.